Good morning, children. Today we will be doing the third chapter of Motions of the Earth. That is the second part. The earth on which the earth moves is fixed and called an orbit. The length of the earth's orbit is about 965 million kilometers. Since the part of the orbit is elliptical, the distance between the sun and the earth varies throughout the year. When the earth is at a minimum distance from the sun, it is called the perihelion. It happens on 4th of January every year. When the earth is at the maximum distance from the sun, it is called aphelion. This position occurs on 4th of July every year. Effects of revolution. The revolution of the earth around the sun results in variation in the length of day and night. Changes of seasons. Variation in the length of day and night. Revolution and inclination of the earth's axis cause unequal length of days and nights. The number of daylight hours are different at different latitude is different. Let us see why it is different at different latitudes, children. Tilt of hemisphere towards the sun. For half of the year, northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. In the southern hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere is tilted away from it. It means as we go north, the length of the lighted portion of a parallel is more than the dark portion. That is why we have longer days and shorter nights. As we move from the equator to the North Pole, also there is a small region in the North Pole which falls only in the lighted part of the earth. This area receives daylight for 6 months. Okay, children. Now, children, over here, there is a picture over here of a globe that the sun rays, here it shows that the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. That is why the southern hemisphere is lighted. This portion is lighted. Whereas the northern portion is not lighted. That means this portion is experiencing summer, daylight, and this portion is experiencing winter, that is night. Okay, so this portion experiences 6 months of daylight, and this portion experiences the 6 month of night. Okay, because why this is happening, because the earth is tilted towards the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. Okay, and exactly the opposite happens with the north. When the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, it is the northern hemisphere which is experiencing 6 months of daylight, and the southern hemisphere is experiencing 6 months of night. Okay. In the situation in the southern hemisphere is just opposite. The days become shorter and the nights become longer. As we move from the equator to the South Pole, during this half of the year, the region around the South Pole experiences 6 months of darkness. Yes, 6 months of darkness. Okay. So, 6 months, for 6 months, they are always having night. Okay. When the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, we get longer days and shorter nights in this region. the region near the South Pole experiences daylight for this half of the year, and the region around the North Pole experiences darkness. Exactly the opposite happens. For the same time, in the northern hemisphere, the days get shorter and the nights become longer during this period. Changes of season. A year is divided into seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The change of seasons are caused by inclination of the earth on its axis and its revolution around the sun. With the change in season, there is also change in temperature and duration of days and nights. The places near the equator do not experience these changes and remain hot throughout the year. See over here, children, there is this photograph, picture, which we can see. Okay, this is the different positions of the earth when it is revolving around the sun. Now, children, you can underline where all it is underlined. The position of the sun on June 21st. When the North Pole is tilted towards the sun, the rays fall vertically on the Tropic of Cancer, which means it receives more heat. As a result, it experiences summer season. During this time, the sun appears higher up in the sky and moves towards the north. On 21st June, the sun reaches its highest at the northernmost point in the sky. This is the summer solstice. This is called the summer solstice. June 21st. Remember the date, children. However, the conditions are totally opposite in the southern hemisphere and it experiences winter season. Now let us see the picture, this photo. Okay, picture of this summer solstice. What it says? See, it shows that the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. Right? So it is experiencing the summer solstice. Similarly, just the opposite is happening over here. The southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun and the southern portion is experiencing summers and the northern hemisphere is experiencing winters. That is winter solstice. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So once again I will go through this so that you all can understand this very nicely. Position of the sun on June 21st. When the North Pole is tilted towards the sun, the rays fall vertically on the Tropic of Cancer, which means it receives more heat. As a result, it experiences summer season. During this time, the sun appears higher up in the sky and moves towards the north. On 21st June, the sun reaches its highest at the northernmost point in the sky. This is called summer solstice. However, the conditions are totally opposite in the southern hemisphere and it experiences winter season. Position on the sun, position of the sun on September 23rd. On 23rd September, neither of the poles are inclined towards the sun. So all the places on the earth experiences days and nights of equal duration. This is called equinox. So what is equinox, children? When the earth experiences days and nights of equal duration. That is called equinox. 23rd September is called the autumn equinox as it occurs when it is autumn season and in the northern hemisphere. The position of the sun on December 22nd. During this time, the South Pole is inclined towards the sun and sun rays fall vertically over the Tropic of Capricorn. So the greater part of the southern hemisphere receives direct sun rays of the sun, whereas northern hemisphere receives slanting sun rays. This means that northern hemisphere receives less heat, which results in winter season. The reverse happens in southern hemisphere as a large part of it receives light. On 22nd December, the sun reaches its lowest and southernmost point. This is known as summer solstice. This is known as the winter solstice. Once again, I'll repeat this. On 22nd December, the sun reaches its lowest and southernmost point. This is known as winter solstice. On this day, the northern hemisphere experiences shortest day and longest night. Always remember this point, children, that on 22nd December, it is the shortest day and the longest night. The Arctic Circle remains in complete darkness for 6 months and the Antarctic Circle receives maximum sunlight. Position of the sun on March 21st. On this day, neither of the poles are inclined towards the sun, so all the places have equal hours of days and nights. During this time, it is spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn is in the southern hemisphere. Therefore, 21st March is known as the spring equinox or vernal equinox. In the southern hemisphere, the seasons are opposite to those in the northern hemisphere, due to which the dates of the equinoxes and the solstices also get interchanged. For example, 21st June is the longest day in the northern hemisphere, summer solstice. But it is the shortest day in southern hemisphere, winter solstice. The circle of season thus repeats itself year after year. So we come to an end of this chapter, children. Thank you very much. Take care, be safe, and bye.